Speaking of trades, I can't believe we waited so
Oof.
long to in the show to
Ah,
do this, but big trade came up.
woo.
Why don't you walk us through the trade, man?
Yeah, man. Kevin Durant. He completes the rainbow.
Is it does he? Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
He completes the rainbow. I think there was a one photo where they showed the Shaq rainbow, and then now they have the Kevin Durant rainbow.
you
So,
got the Roy Jabif coming.
yes, yep. Kevin Durant to the Rockets for man Jalen Green, Dylan the Villain,
Dylan Brooks,
and
man.
the 10th pick in the draft, who turned out to be I forgot, and five second rounders.
What do you think about that deal, man? We
So
predicted he was going to
Spurs, we
Spurs, but it
predicted he was
didn't
going to
happen.
Spurs.
So
Yeah,
apparently the
yeah.
Spurs only. So just before we go there, so the
Mhm.
rumored finalist for this deal was
Mhm.
obviously we got Houston here, but the other
Mhm.
team was Miami. But Miami only offered Wiggins. They didn't offer Khalil Ware. They didn't offer anyone
Right.
substantial.
Mhm.
They didn't really give a Godfather offer, and that's why the Suns
Right.
really went with the Rockets here.
Mhm.
But the Spurs were in play as well, as we expected. They offered Harrison Barnes and Devin Vassell, plus the
Mhm.
14th pick.
Plus the
But
14th.
the
Yeah.
Suns, for some reason, the Suns wanted the second pick. You're not gonna get that for a 36 year
Yeah.
old KD. That's how we
No.
ended up here.
No.
So, what do you think about this for the Rockets' perspective?
Um. Hey. I mean, he's what 36,
Turning
37,
37.
30, 37. They'll still get 20 points a game, which Jalen Green already was giving them like 20, almost 20 points a game. Uh, it gives them a lot of offensive firepower still.
Yep.
They have Fred Van Vliet running the
Who
point.
who did they just resign basically? So
They
Fred
just
VanVleet
re-signed him. Yeah.
opted out of that $44 million
Mhm.
deal to sign a lower value deal to keep
Right,
him in
and then
Houston. Yep.
they have an up and coming center in Sengun as well. So, who else do they have? They have
They also have number 3 pick Reed Shepard. He's probably gonna get more time now
Reed
because
Shepard.
Jalen Green's gone. You got Cam
Right.
Whitmore off the bench. You have
Cam
Tari Eason.
Whitmore,
What? No,
Tari Eason. Yeah.
Houston is loaded, man. This is
Yeah.
another team that I believe is gonna make a run this year. This is
Right.
another all-in move, is what I think of it.
Mm.
But
It's
the
an
thing
all-in
is,
move. Yeah.
but the thing is, Houston didn't even need to go all in. They
Yeah.
essentially, I believe that this trade is a fleece. The
Mm.
Suns had no choice but to deal Durant, and the only notable offer they had on the table was this Houston offer. And
Right.
Houston didn't give up a lot, man.
Yeah.
Brooks is a loss, obviously, from their defense, but
Hmm.
he's a spotty shooter at best. He's an
Yeah.
irritant. I don't think he's gonna be a big loss for this. He can easily
Right.
move Tyree Eason into the starting lineup,
Hmm.
right? It's not gonna be a big deal. Jalen Green, kababayan Jalen Green, right?
Yep.
Right, Filipino Jalen Green. He's look, as much as we want to hype the guy up to be the next Jordan Clarkson, he's not even half of what Jordan can score with.
Right.
At this point, he's a lesser Jordan Clarkson.
Right.
He's a number 2 pick, very explosive player. But one of the reasons why Houston really sucked in the playoffs and towards the end of the year is that because they didn't have any reliable scoring.
Hmm.
That's what they expected Jalen Green to be.
Yeah. He
But they
didn't
just turned.
deliver.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't deliver, and they just
Yeah.
turned him into Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
one of the best scorers in NBA
In
history.
history. Yeah.
A guy you can just give the ball to and get out of the way. They
Get
didn't
away,
have
yeah.
that. Houston didn't have that.
Right.
Now they do.
Mm.
So we have OKC obviously on the top of the picking order. I don't think that's
Yeah.
gonna change. Personally, I don't know if you agree with me, but this puts them into that second spot.
The Houston
Yes.
Rockets. Yeah. Mm.
I believe they were a fake second seed last year, but they won't be this year, man.
They're
Durant's
legit
gonna.
to concede now. Yeah.
They're scary. They just
Yeah.
really look. They can try to the projected starting lineup here is probably gonna be Fred VanVleet. I'm guessing
Right.
you put Cam Whitmore at the 2.
Cam Whitmore at the 2.
You got
Tyrese
Kevin.
at the 3.
You got Kevin Durant. No, Kevin Durant at the 3. You got Jabari
Three.
Smith at the 4.
Jabari Smith at 4.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you got Sengun at the
And Goon
center.
at 5.
And
Yeah.
off the bench, you have Tari Eason, as we mentioned. You have
Mhm.
Cam Whitmore, who's a microwave scorer. And and my boy Steven Adams is still gonna be there.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yep.
it's gonna be a very scary Houston team coming up.
Right.
And this is an example of just the superstar using his leverage to get to somewhere.
Yeah.
This is if you think that the super team player option short contract thing is a LeBron special,
Mhm.
forcing your way out of teams is a Kevin Durant
That's a
special.
Kevin Durant. That's a Kevin Durant special.
Right. This is what it is. Apparently, what he did was he turned down any potential landing spots in order to drive the price down, and that's what he did. He essentially effed the Suns over, and here we are.
Wow.
Okay.
Now the Suns
Another-
are left with what? 4 shooting guards?
Wait, is that even it? You got Book, you got Brooks, you got Evil Ted Cruz, if there's even a word.
Who's it?
Dude, I mean, I don't know what the Suns are doing.
Yeah.
But to be honest, they had some good draft picks right now. So actually, one of the things that they did was actually trade for someone else. Mark
Right.
Williams ended up in the Suns.
Ooh.
Mark Williams just got traded to the Phoenix Suns, and
Wow.
they got a good center rotation. It's funny
Now
because
they have a center
Nick Richards used to back up Mark Williams in Charlotte.
in Charlotte. Yeah.
Now he gets to back him up in Phoenix because that's where they are playing together right now.
Wow.
So Phoenix is making moves. You know what? They got
Uh-huh.
their pick back from the
Right.
Rockets, which which is eventually what they wanted.
Mhm.
But obviously they're not done. We know that they're not done. They're gonna try to build their team back up after giving away Kevin Durant. But
Right.
they got Kaman Malak. They got another center, bro.
Right.
They got the
Another
Duke
center,
center, and
Yep.
they might be trotting out a 2 center lineup every time on the floor. That's going to be a scary defense.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to trade away one of those 3 guys. I
Good
mean,
mind, yeah.
I don't think they're gonna stack up on centers.
Yeah.
But let's see what they do. So another trade that happened is
CJ
hey,
McCollum.
man, CJ McCollum. This is an interesting trade. What's the trade look like?
So it's CJ, Kelly Olynyk, and wow,
A second
CJ
round pick, yeah.
Kelly, yeah, and a second round pick for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the 40th pick.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all
Yeah.
for if you're the Pelicans. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
CJ McCollum is a liability for you. They expected him to be that scorer, right?
Yeah.
But obviously CJ has his own as good as he can be. Jordan Poole is much better. He's an upgrade. You can talk about the attitude problems. You can talk about all that stuff. Him getting
Right.
punched by Draymond, whatever. But what the Pelicans got here is they got 2 pure shoot. They got 2 shooters here. Sadiq Bey is a shooter.
Yep.
Jordan Poole is a playmaking shooter. So they can essentially trot out a lineup of Zion, Jordan Poole, DeJounte Murray. I don't know if he's going to be back this year, though, because he has an
Right.
Achilles issue. We're going to talk to that in a bit. Trey Murphy, Herb
Trey
Jones,
Murphy,
Sadiq Bey.
Herb
They're,
Jones. Yeah.
I don't know what the Pels are doing here, but at least they're not going to be complete garbage this year.
No.
assuming Zion